Hello, welcome. Going to look at some X-Men action figures. These are all sealed still, and they're all from the 90s. I did the same thing with Batman. I collected action figures for a while in the 90s. A large part of that was because I worked in a toy store, which is a bad idea. And so I got a lot of these from roughly 1994 to 96. Some are from, going back to 1991, but Toy Biz released the same figures for years. Sometimes the cards differ a bit, and maybe there are some color differences, but they released the same figure in different editions as well, different color schemes. So I'm just gonna kind of go fast as I can, maybe, but I'll probably, if I ramble, I probably go too slow. I'm gonna do multiples on camera at a time, just because I have 40 items to look at. And so on the table now you see Professor X and Beast. And they did use this packaging. You might see some slight differences, but these cards are what make up most of them. But you can see the differences here. These are what the differences you'll come across. Like this is the Uncanny X-Men, this one just says X-Men. Those are the kind of differences you might notice. Many of them have some sort of action element, like Professor X just has his secret control panel. It's not too exciting, but that's Professor X. I mean, he's a telepath, so can't really have any kind of action power, but Beast has a mutant flipping power. On the back you can see a lot of other characters they made. And it's hard to cover all of it. There's so many. I have some from a few different lines, but there were many more that I don't have, and a lot of that came in the later 90s. Now these here are based on the comic book, which was big in the 90s, but then there was the animated series as well, and I do have a few specifically based on the animated series, and the reason I decided to do this now is because X-Men 97 animated series picks up where the 90s series left off, and that debuts a few days after I'm likely to post this. One other thing before I move on to the next figures, they come with trading cards, as you can see. They're pointing out there. Every single one, I believe, has a trading card, but they're random, so they're not like Beast. Looks like there's a Wolverine card in there, but Professor X is one of two that I have that actually matches up the character. He has a Professor X card, which is neat. But for the most part, they weren't meant to. They're just completely random. So this is going to be tricky to move these out of the way, but I have so many surrounding myself right now. So the first two had kind of higher up plastics. Let me just make sure these are in focus. So these are both Storm. I said this is one of the variations where at first they made her in the black outfit and then the silver outfit. But they use the same card. They didn't change that, which matches the black outfit. And she has Power Glow. Because I didn't open these, I don't know exactly what everything does. That I think it might have batteries. I don't know, it says press the button to activate her Power Glow chest. I assume that's a light. Cyclops has batteries in him, so I wouldn't be surprised if she also does. This one you can see some of the vehicles. I don't have any of the accessories, only the action figures. Unfortunately, I also don't have any of Colossus or Nightcrawler. I do have a Cyclops, but not that original outfit. Same with Wolverine. These were like the first series. But I do have, you see, a Storm, and I have Archangel, because they re-released. I'm pretty sure these are from 91. Toy Biz signed a deal with Marvel in 1990. So yeah, this one is 91. So this same package, I don't think I would have purchased it until years later after it actually released. And you can tell actually from the trading cards too, like that has one of the early Marvel hero cards, whereas this one has a Flare Ultra card, which came later. Something else you may notice, I mean, I don't know what picks up on camera, but sometimes they have tape over the card, which is bad if you were to open these to play with. he pulled the tape off, it probably ripped the card. They don't all have tape, but some do. I assume it's something to do with them sliding around a lot. Sometimes you'll see they kind of get stuck underneath the plastic even. Production from Toy Biz wasn't perfect. I've seen a few various errors in the packaging. Alright, next, Wolverine. The most popular character and by far the most action figures made by Toy Biz are of Wolverine. I have these two, 2nd edition and 5th edition. First, as we saw in the back of the Storm packaging, the first was that brownish outfit. This one here is a KB exclusive collector's edition. I worked at Toy Works, which was owned by KB, so we had KB exclusive items, and that's where I would have picked this up. It's just a repaint. They made this actual outfit is available normally. You can see the card is painted black, which is what the original version is. KB just got a green one. So this one has knife thrusting, and this has slashing action. Yeah, there's the picture of the original Wolverine. Although this one is, actually that's a different one. There's the Wolverine that is part of this line. That's a Marvel superhero electronic talking action figures, which has a few of the X-Men and Magneto in there. Toy Biz just made a lot of Marvel figures. Like I said, they made a deal with Marvel. It wasn't just for X-Men. They also made Spider-Man figures. There's Cyclops and Phoenix. Something I don't believe Toy Biz ever made, just like on these orange cards, was a Jean Grey figure. There are some Jean Grey action figures, but they're not part of this early line. They don't look like, you know, the regular Jean Grey outfit. There's like I think it's called Battle Blaster, some subset where she looks really different. Instead they made Phoenix, which you can treat as Jean Grey. It said earlier, he has light up optic blast. He has batteries in him, which I'm sure have corroded by now. His figures are quite old. You'll see a bit later, there's also like a series, well, I have a special set of the Dark Phoenix saga. Here you can see other ones that are part of that line. Because they're like, they did comic book, like a popular storyline that they'll sometimes make just a bunch of characters from those specific few issues. There's the X-Jet and the Sentinel. If you watch any of my other videos, you've seen other X-Men stuff pop up. Like I did a Color Forms video, and I had X-Men Color Forms in there. Did a diecast video, and I had some X-Men Micro Machines in there. But the majority of my X-Men toys are these action figures. So here's Rogue and Gambit. Rogue has an uppercut punch, and Gambit a kick action. And some of them you'll notice also have these stickers start popping up. So this is when the show, the Fox animated series, started getting home video releases, and then stickers were added to some of the figures just to advertise, hey, you can buy this on home video now. Rogue looks a little odd to me. He really went a little overboard with eyeliner, I guess. Like her eyes just look really dark. Gambit, the card behind him was Quicksilver. It's kind of warping. Probably seen these backs by now because I keep flipping so many. There's the punch. They have like little switches on their backs. So here are Banshee and Morph. Morph's kind of neat. He's got 3 different heads, so he can become Wolverine and Cyclops. They should have done some villains maybe to make him trick the bad guys. Not sure what this is, like evil Morph? I don't know. Or it just looks like Morph again with purple lines around his eyes. Banshee does a sonic scream. I think it is like air going through him, making a whistle sound. If you watch the cartoon, or you haven't seen the animated series and you're gonna pick it up now, Morph was one of the early characters in the show. Bit of a spoiler, he doesn't stick around. I won't say what happens to him, but he's only in I think the first 2 episodes. So this says, lift his arms straight out to the side. You're expected to blow. It's like a whistle, so you blow through his back and he makes a screaming sound. And of course, Morph just has interchangeable heads to become different people. I wonder if I'm going to try squeezing 3 on screen right now. These are my last 3 in this series of the good guys. Got Iceman, Archangel, and Bishop. All really cool figures, really. I'd say some of the best looking ones. Of course, Iceman has this clear look to him. Archangel just has a nice paint job and the cool wings, and Bishop has some nice detail as well. Archangel's the other figure I have where his card actually matches. It's the Archangel trading card. You probably can't really tell too well. You can see the top of his wings a little bit. He has missile shooting. You can see right there there's a little lever to make his missiles pop out of the wings. And Iceman comes with an ice slide. And Bishop, quick draw weapon release. Which I guess it just makes his arm come down. There's gun in it. I don't think the gun actually shoots. Maybe these don't fit on screen so well. I thought I had all 3 in there. Well, that's those 3. We move on to the villains. I have a few villains. There's Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister. Also pretty nicely detailed. All the action figures really do look like the characters. Having never opened them, I don't know how good the mobility is, but they do have knee and elbow joints. Now, one thing Sinister has a problem with is his leg should be over here. You can see the outline in the plastic casing. Kind of got in production just pushed over to the side. I saw this in another figure, not an X-Men, but my Spider-Man Toy Biz figure, his leg, his right leg is way out of place as well. All the bad guys have purple packaging, and this is 2nd edition Apocalypse. So Sinister also has batteries. He can light up to make his chest and eyes glow. Then I guess Apocalypse just has different weapon arms. Of course, in most of these action figure lines, there's a lot more hero characters than the bad guys. So here's Magneto and Sabretooth. The Sabretooth's card appears to be kind of stuck. I don't know, maybe it's not under the plastic, but it's crooked. It's just odd because they did put tape over that one too. They didn't do a great job. It really should have been under this arrow. But like I said, Toy Biz, production values are a little lacking sometimes. Magneto, he looks a little, let's say, scrawny. Does have a removable helmet and some interesting weapons with magnets on them. So Magneto is one of the early figures. There's the original 1st edition Apocalypse. I never got Juggernaut. Those are the 3 original villains, Juggernaut, this Magneto, and the 1st edition Apocalypse. So I guess Magneto just has, of course, magnets in his hands so that the stuff will stick to him. And Sabretooth, snarl, and swipe action. Okay, so that's it of X-Men, but here's well, they label the package Uncanny X-Men X-Force, so they got blue packaging. And there's quite a few different cables. I have 4 of them. This is the first and second edition cables. Of course, he's a very bulky guy. He's a popular character who also appeared in the animated series. This one has clobber action and deep space armor, which I guess does something, extends the twin laser. I don't know, it doesn't look like much of a feature, to be honest. Okay, here's the third and fourth cables. This one's quite large. It's much the bigger plastic, much more raised. Cable does have a lot of guns, so that's kind of what he does. Rocket firing action and air assault. I didn't really read X-Force, so I'm not as familiar with these characters. Alright, there's 3 more good guys. Let's see if I can get... Yeah, I think I was not quite in frame earlier. I didn't realize this is a tight squeeze. You have GW Bridge, Grizzly, and Kane. Yeah, I don't really remember these guys too well. I only read X-Force when it had like a story crossover with the X-Men comic book. It's another bad production thing is the plastic that goes around the cardboard hook to keep it from ripping, you know, when it's hanging in stores. They kind of missed the mark on that plastic. It's coming off a bit, but it's almost a 1/4 inch off. So this guy, rapid fire gun, crushing power hammers, and double-fisted weapons. It's all the same packaging, just with the blue for X-Force. And a couple villains. Got Cruel and Mojo. Now Mojo, he's appeared in other comic books, of course. Bit of damage there. He's a big action figure. So Cruel, he has shrunken heads. Not sure what's going on here. His braid. I guess you twist him, he whips his braid around. I guess that's what he does. Mojo's just got this giant chair with accessories. Just add the pincer in the legs. I guess you got a little, you can make the tail there whip up and down. Alright, so that's it for that line of figures. Now I'm going to move to this classics line. I don't think I could fit all 3 probably. Let me do 2, I guess. Well, they're tall, but maybe they're not so wide. I've got 3 of them in total, so get them in there. Storm, Gambit, and Magneto. So these are based on the animated series. You can see from the animated series. And these have cards specifically made so they match the character. So Storm is very similar to the original. Really all these are kind of just repackaged versions, I guess, of the originals. Slightly different look in this. Storm is white instead of silver. She has the same power glow action. Gambit also has the same power kick action. Now this Magneto looks a lot better than the other Magneto, but his helmet doesn't remove, so it's more detailed. Let me see if I can find Gambit. I dumped all this stuff on the ground. Does it look identical? Kinda does. There's just more accessories. This one only has the silver staff, and then here he's got some other things going. Knives and... not sure, that's a bandolier maybe? So yeah, these are largely repackaged, slightly different. Like we saw Gambit looks the same. It's Storm, different color. Magneto much better looking though without the removable helmet. Now here's another, it's still part of the Classics line, but these are completely different and they have light up weapons. You can see Gambit much bulkier, more muscular. And I don't know if there were other Psylocke figures. This is probably my only Psylocke. So these light up. She's got that, which is like psychic energy, I believe, and then Gambit's in his, he's got his playing cards, which I believe is kinetic energy, if I have that right. These are more detailed, certainly. So then you can see which ones are the light up here. These are the light up ones. They also have Juggernaut, Wolverine, Stealth, and Nightcrawler. And they spelled Psylocke wrong on the back of the package. There's no E. Well, they didn't put the E. There should be an E right there, but they missed it there. And they made X-Men 2099. Generation X, I have one of these to show you. And these just look like more detailed versions of the originals. Alright, let me go to these, I guess. This is the, these are, say, Mutant Genesis series, so this is another ongoing arc in the comic book. This is Cameron Hodge and Executioner. Some cool packaging with Wolverine up here in his claws. This guy looks like he sprays water. This one just has some kind of a snapping action, maybe. Swing wrist, 360 degrees for spinning action. So the figures, you should check the year because they did get more detailed. These are 1995, and this is similar packaging, but this is an X-Force. Part of the X-Force line, where instead of Wolverine you have the big Cable image, because Wolverine and Cable, they were kind of biggest produced figures, probably most editions. So this is Exodus. He's one of the bad guys. Yeah, he's Magneto's right-hand man and loyal disciple. So he does some kind of wing action, moving his arms. Alright, almost done. Almost. Here's my Generation X figure. So I should have one of these. This is Chamber. He has sparking action, so there's something on his back you trigger to make the front spark. You can see the packaging, not your typical rectangle. I don't know if these fit in frame. I think that might be a little taller too. Big X. Here's a box set. I don't know if it's probably not gonna fit completely here. Now this is the Dark Phoenix Saga box set. Mine has a little damage, like little rips. So instead of, we showed you Phoenix before in the green outfit. Here's Dark Phoenix in the red outfit. And Corsair, I'm sure how you pronounce his name, Chad, or has an apostrophe in it. And Wolverine in space outfit. Now this exclusive to FAO Schwartz. So I had the KB exclusive. This one's FAO Schwartz. And there's also Walmart and Toys R Us exclusives. I don't have any of those. And just description again of all their different actions. Phoenix takes batteries. Space Wolverine, some kind of twisting action. This Chad guy lifts his arms. I guess, I assume he can lift most characters' arms. Looks like he does some kind of, press a button, maybe throws them. And Corsair has a hook. Not sure that he really does anything other than you can hook him onto with some string. Okay, last two items. Toy Biz also made a deluxe line. This one's 10 inch. I should mention the other figures are all around 5 inches. So these are twice as big, the deluxe editions. Doesn't quite fit. It says down here 10 inch tall, fully posable, weapon included. I'm not sure how many of these they made. The box shows 3 here, but I know they made more, like Wolverine, of course. This shows Gambit, which is one we're looking at, Bishop, and Mr. Sinister. There's also a metallic deluxe line where they're all painted shiny. Okay, so that's the end of Toy Biz, the last sort of action figure I'm going to show you. It is a Bendham from Just Toys. So, I guess, I don't know if they consider these action figures, but, you know, they're Bendhams. It means you can bend them. They don't have any accessories. They just like have wires in them so that you can put them in any position you want. But you can see there's no claws on Wolverine, and the price tag's still there. I tried to remove it. It didn't with Goo Gone, but it didn't seem to want to come off. It says $2.99 from CVS. And they made Colossus, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Magneto, and Juggernaut. So if you want to see pictures of these, I did photograph them all. Be on the website, link in the video description. And if you're interested in X-Men, I have been posting 3 other blog articles with X-Men coverage, mostly scans from magazines. So you can check those out as well. Thanks for watching.